Go.
Good morning, ATD family. Welcome to another episode. We are in the heart of September. We are in the last month of the season, and we have a lot of things to talk about. A lot of craziness has happened in this last week, and we are excited to bring it all to you. It's Grand Sam. It's Baseball Bill. Welcome to another episode. We're going to start this off as we always do. Baseball Bill, how are you doing on this beautiful Saturday?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. I'm excited to get started. There's a lot of good topics and a lot of good baseball coming this week. And has happened last week. So I'm excited.
I could not agree with you more. First and foremost, we have to thank our sponsors, the Sports Basement, where you can get all of your sporting needs from skis to cleats, baseball bats, the football pads, anything you're looking for. The Sports Basement's got it. And Bill has a special place in his heart for the patio place, and his backyard is furnished by them.
A portion of them, yes. Yes.
And Bill, you had mentioned something before the show about the sports basement, actually, with the softball game you guys are running.
Yeah. Sports Basement is one of our sponsors and they do such a great job. I actually talked to my contact. She was very, very excited. They're gonna toss us a bunch of stuff for this this coming this coming event that we're doing. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, we're going to jump right into it. Bill, take me through the American League this week.
Bet. So the Blue Jays, I almost said the Giants. Gosh, that hurts coming out of my mouth. The Blue Jays are still holding on. They got the Yankees by four. Yankees were down by three, or got it down to three, and then they lost last night. Red Sox are 4.5 back. The Red Sox still have a series with the Blue Jays and two with the Yankees. So there's a lot to play there. The Royals have made their move. Oh, by the way, the Rays, we're going to talk about them in a second. The Rays won
Yes.
seven in a row and then lost last night. The Tigers are really, really struggling as of late, but it hasn't hurt them. The Royals are making their move, but it's just too much to catch up on. Astros, we will have plenty of conversation about them today. The Mariners are not taking advantage of the Astros struggling. The Rangers are. The Rangers are only 4 games out, and the Rangers still have five left to play with the Astros. The Astros still have three with the Mariners. Obviously, the Angels and Athletics are going to play spoilers. The Angels got demolished last night, I believe, against. I turned the game off in the fifth when I saw it was 9-4. I don't know what the final score was, but the A's just came swinging last night. So that's your American League report right there.
Yeah, looking at the Blue Jays, they are just playing dominant baseball. We were worried about them at the beginning of the year, but they have turned it around and really, just taken it to another level. Yankees and Red Sox, these guys were fighting tooth and nail to keep their wild card spots. As we look at the Central, the Tigers have not been playing well, but the Royals are really trying to pick some games up as we come towards the end of the season. And don't sleep on these Guardians. They are still playing unbelievable baseball as they are still in the wild card hunt. And when we look at the West, I couldn't agree with you more. With the Astros skidding, the Mariners are not taking advantage of that at all, while the Rangers are. They are just playing great baseball and really cutting this lead down to get themselves into this wild card picture and keep themselves in this wild card picture and put themselves in contention to make it to October. And as we look at the actual wild card as it sits, Yankees have a 5 game lead with the Red Sox half a game behind that. The Mariners, like we said, they're not taking advantage of this Astros skid, and they are barely holding on. Because as we look at the teams in the fight, the Rangers are only half a game out of a wild card spot right now. The Royals, 1 game out, and the Rays, 2 games out. When we look at this from last week, there was a 3 game difference between the Mariners and the Rangers, and now it's half a game. This
Game.
wild card in the AL is just unbelievable. And we're going to
Yeah.
talk more about what teams are going to be able to make it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But anything interesting here before we talk about it, before we
No,
move on?
I mean, unfortunately, Seattle is struggling, and I really, really want Seattle to get there. But Seattle's struggling right now.
Yeah. They got to figure it out, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as we get later into the show. When we look at the National League, the Phillies are just doing what they've been doing almost all year long. At first it was battling the Mets and the Phillies. Phillies struggled in like the first month and a half of the season, but once they hit June, man, those Philly fanatics fans turned it on, and it has been lights out for them basically the remain since then. 6 game lead over the Mets, who are currently tied with the Padres in a wild card spot. We'll talk about that in a minute. Don't sleep on the Marlins, though. They can play spoiler as we are in this last month of the season. When we look at the Central, the Brewers hit a little bit of a skid, but they are still currently the best team in all of baseball with an 87-55 record. Cubs, don't sleep on this team. They are still fighting for a wild card. And the Reds, not as exciting as we would. I mean, the Cubs are in the wild card spot. The Reds are really, really struggling in the last 10 games plus. Um, Not sure if they're going to have what it takes to make it there, but we will see. And when we look at the NL West, this division is getting even more competitive week over week. The Dodgers have been on a bit of a losing streak. The Padres have just been playing abysmal, but they've also been plagued with injuries. And the Giants are 11-1 in their last 12 games. I know, Bill, it's hard for you to I know it's hard for you to stomach, but it is true. 11-1 in their last 12 games. They've had multiple sweeps, a lot of series wins, and they are looking good right now. And I don't know what it is out there in San Francisco that's causing them to look this good, but as a Giants fan, knock on wood, keep playing the way you're playing, boys. I want to see it happen.
Mhm.
Anything you gotta say about this National League, Bill?
No, the Mets have finally turned it around. Um, that's nice to see. Um, Again, Brewers are just running away with that. All the Cubs are trying to make hay there, and they could very well make hay there. The Reds have just fallen off the face of the earth. It's just so sad. America's team is still in first place. They are not, the Padres are not taking advantage of the Dodgers losing. And congratulations to the Rockies for being the first to 100.
Yeah, congratulations.
I give
There
you
will
love.
be a team that hits 100
You may be the only
losses.
team that hits 100 this season. Who knows?
They potentially could be the only team that hits 100 unless the Nationals go on an amazing losing streak and just lose like everything under the face of the sun. And don't count out the White Sox. 54 wins, 88 losses. It's very easy for the White Sox to get another 12 losses.
The White Sox have won six in a row, though. And
They
and
have, but 12 losses is not out of the realm for them.
Brewers have a shot for 100 wins.
They do have a shot for 100 wins, but the Brewers do have a tough end of the season schedule.
They do
So
very much so.
we're
They do very
we got
much
to
so.
give them a lot of we have to give them grace for what they're dealing with right now. But I like how
100%.
you completely bypassed over the Giants when you talk the National League. Just want to throw that out there. Just couldn't stomach it. I got
The Giants, do they still play?
you. You're fine. You're fine.
Let's talk wild card.
Let's talk about the wild. Let us talk about the wild card. So the Cubs are currently 5 games up in the wild card standings in the National League, but the Padres and the Mets are dead even when it
Yeah.
comes to the wild card. And when you look at who's fighting for a spot, you've got the Giants and the D-backs in the National League West that could potentially make this wild card even more and more interesting. While the Reds are still there, again, they have been struggling tooth and nail. They have just not been putting it together in this last month of the season so far. And it is going to be a very tough uphill battle for them
Mhm.
to get there. It just is going to be. So we will keep you in the loop on what's going on there. When we talk about the injury report, because we didn't miss 3 weeks in a row, we were able to keep this nice, short, and sweet. I think the biggest impact I mean, there's a lot. I mean, all three of these are pretty big, impactful injuries for these teams, as they're all, I mean, not as much for the Brewers because the Brewers have pretty much locked up the National League Central. They are most likely going to be heading into the postseason. But when you look at the Jesse Winkler, Gurriel injuries, what's more impactful?
Uh, I would argue that the injuries for Milwaukee are more impactful because they've already kind of locked that up. Even they got what is a 5 game lead on on the Cubs right now, and if even if the Cubs they outdid the Cubs have a 5 game lead on the next closest team, the Giants, or whatever it is, 9 game lead actually, I believe. So the Brewers have pretty much locked that up. They're going to need these guys in the playoffs, but I would argue Jesse Winkler over Lourdes Gurriel.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. So, once again, really quickly, want to thank our sponsors, the Sports Basement and the Patio Place, for supporting ATD and TFR and allowing us to do what we
Yes.
do on a weekly basis and bring you the best baseball insights in the world. If you're not checking us out, make sure you check TFR out on YouTube. Go to Top Fan Rivalry on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the things you do on YouTube. Give us your love. Let us know your feedback. Give us insights. Tell us what you want us to talk about. We look at these things. We take these things very seriously. We want to talk about the things you want us to talk about and bring that best baseball knowledge to you based off of what you want us to talk about. Let's really jump into the stolen base and home run counts. Um, Not a huge increase, 118 increased stolen bases from last week to this week. Jose Caballero is still leading the charge with 42 stolen bases, but Bill, it is looking tougher and tougher to hit that 36-17 number.
It is looking tougher and tougher, but I want to say something. Notice how you have two people on the leaderboard equaling a total of 80, what is that? 82, 81 stolen bases. You have two people that equal 81 stolen bases for Tampa Bay. No wonder Tampa Bay is making their final push.
Yeah, they're just
They're moving
playing.
people around.
They're moving people around. They're running the base paths. They're not letting anything stop them. And that's how you got to play at this point of the season. You just got to put it all out there on the line.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're going to make it or not, play spoiler, if anything. Knock a team out that is in your division that gives you a lot of gripe. Yankees. Um, Sorry, did I say that? Yankee fans, don't at me. Don't message
Giants.
me. It's going to go. Well, Giants don't have any games against Tampa Bay coming up, so I don't really have to
I
worry
know,
too much
but I
about
mean,
that.
I'm just saying I I wouldn't choose the Yankees because they'll put you under the turnpike there and they'll make it look like an accident. I would say take the Giants.
Okay. Yeah. To each their own. To each their
Yes.
own. Let's look at the home run leaderboard count. Now, we at the very beginning of the season and probably up until the All-Star break, Bill and I were super freaking confident we were going to break 5,400 home runs. We were so confident we would have bet our lives on it. And as we sit here today and we look at this home run leaderboard count, Bill, I think you and I can agree and attest. We have zero confidence,
Hmm.
zero confidence. We're breaking 54 home runs, 5,400 home runs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But very little confidence on that one for sure. Because I mean, it's kind of slowed down. The dog days of summer have slowed down, and you've seen a lot of injuries this season. A lot of
Yeah,
injuries to very good people.
100%. And, but it is great to see, Cal Riley getting this resurgence out there in Seattle, really, taking it to another level with the 51 home runs he's hitting. Kyle Schwarber hitting 49. Shohei doing what he does. Aaron doing what he does. What about Eugenio Suarez? 42 home runs. I mean, this kid
Yeah,
is just like playing unbelievable,
he
unfreaking
is.
believable baseball right now since the
He
trade from
is.
Arizona to Seattle. which if you watch the shows week over week, you know I had forgotten to change Suarez's team forever, and I finally did it today. So congratulations to me for being on top of it. And thank you Bill for calling me out on it before the show.
And listen, I aim to please. I'm here. I'll
I
be
know
here
you
till
do.
Wednesday. Tip the waitress. Okay.
Fair enough. So let's get into our topics of discussion today. And the first one is a pretty serious one. When we talk about sports, we talk about baseball, it's all about being a good sport. And, there's going to be fights here and there and stuff like that, but there shouldn't be fights within teams,
Correct.
within your own organization. And this is just a terrible, terrible, terrible look for Valdez,
Yeah, it
in my
is.
opinion.
So
Bill, talk to us about it.
here's the breakdown. So he's a free agent at the end of this season. He has made it clear that he wants 31 mil tickets per season. I don't think that he's a 31 mil ticket pitcher, right? He's making 18 million this season. So it started out, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll understand by the images. If you're not, so Framber was out there pitching against the Yankees this week. He shook off his catcher a second time. And then after he shook off his catcher a second time, the catcher proceeded to tell him to step off the rubber. He's step off, step off. And he didn't. And he threw a pitch and it got hit oppo. It got hit for a home run opposite field. And then the next pitch he taught or um he confused his catcher and his catcher got hit. You can't do this stuff. The catcher calls the game. The catcher controls the entire game, and you can't do this stuff. The rumors were flying. What happened in the locker room, everything like that. This is what's going to happen. Here's my prediction: um, that the Astros will make a qualifying offer to Framber after he gets an offer from wherever to play. They'll make a qualifying offer, but they are not bringing him back. He is done in Houston. And this was a terrible, terrible look and a terrible, terrible idea. I don't know if he just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but you're on national freaking TV. You cannot do this type of stuff. So,
Yeah. I would be shocked if the Astros even made a qualifying offer, to be
well,
honest
they
with you.
have to so they don't lose a draft pick.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. It'll probably be a very low qualifying offer just to say they did it.
Yeah.
I think for Valdez, he needs to understand that he doesn't know better. He does not know better than the catcher. You know, he needs to understand exactly what you said. The catcher runs the game. The catcher is the one that's communicating with the dugout as to what pitches to throw, when to throw them, location, everything. And when you do stuff like this and you're coming into a free agent year, you basically put an asterisk next to your name to say, well, are you going to be a pitcher that I can trust is going to listen to my catcher, to the guy that I am telling to call what pitches to call and when to call them? And you have to put your own ego aside. You can't throw a pitch because you're comfortable with the pitch. It's about what pitch is going to be best to strike the batter out. Now, not every pitch is going to be the right pitch, but your confidence in this whole situation needs to be put to the left, to the side, and say, okay, I might not be happy with the pitch he wants me to throw, but if this is what they're telling me they want me to throw because they think it's the best move, I have to do it.
Mhm.
And for Valdez, this just looks so bad on him. I would be very shocked what offers he gets this offseason because I don't think he is going to get what he thinks he's going to get. I don't even think it's going to be close to getting what he's going to get. He's going to need to, if anything, do a 1 year prove it contract wherever he goes to show
Uh-huh.
that he can play nice.
Well, and he's got a little bit of blood spilled with some of the teams that he would love to get qualifying offers from, right? I mean, or
Hmm.
offers from. The Yankees aren't looking at him. I'd be a little surprised if the Yankees or Dodgers or Red Sox or Tigers looked at him. So if that's the case, then you've eliminated 5 teams out of 30 already. So you can go pitch in Colorado. Are you going to
Might be
want to
the
do
only
that?
place where they get him. Might be the only
Well,
place that offers him anything.
do you want to rebuild with the White Sox? The White Sox are playing really good right now. So, I mean, this was a bad look. This was a terrible situation for him. And I feel bad for the catcher because the catcher is a minor league can. He basically has been up because of injuries. So he wasn't going to fight this issue, but you can see it as they're walking off the mound. They both don't see eye to eye here.
Yeah. And I think the other thing to take it to note is that the the rest of the club had the catcher's back.
Yeah, yeah,
They basically said to Valdez, "You are in the wrong. You can't do this." Now Valdez did come out and say he apologized, but it never should have even gotten to this point. And that's the problem. That as a catcher, as a pitcher, you need to trust your catcher knows what he's doing. And if he's telling you to step off the mound, you step off the mound. If he's telling you to throw a pitch, you throw that pitch. And that's just the way it is. If you don't like it, take it up with him in the clubhouse after. If and the other thing is like now this looks bad on him on Valdez because he's the one that chose to throw the pitch that gave up the home run, not the catcher. This was him.
yep.
So I mean, you said it earlier in the show. The Astros have been struggling. This is one area, that you see the struggle is real. And when you have internal turmoil in your own clubhouse, it does not look good as you continue to work through, especially the last month of the season.
100%. 100%. I completely agree with you. And this is the frustrating part that I have with this whole thing is this was avoidable. You put your egos aside, you go out and you play, you handle that stuff in the dugout in the clubhouse.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Put egos aside. Let's just play ball. Let's just have a good time. Let's just have fun. That's it. Look at what the Orioles are doing. They're having fun. I mean, Jackson Holliday scored from second base on a wild pitch last night, which was freaking unbelievable, by the way. If you didn't see that last night, that was crazy. That was a crazy play. I know that affects you, Bill, and I'm sorry about it. But as a baseball fan, take your Dodger hat off, put your purist hat on. That was unfreaking believable.
it, I didn't see it. I wasn't watching the game. I was out with Amber, but yeah, I mean, if you score from second base on a pass ball, then yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So, anyway, the next topic of discussion we have is we talk a lot about the wild card, especially as we get into this last month of the season. And we got teams right now that are really in the hunt and have a good chance of making some big splashes as we go into, you know, as we're in this last month of the season. So, Bill, we got the 6 teams right now between the AL and the NL that are in the hunt. The Royals, the Rangers, and the Guardians in the AL, the Giants, the D-backs, and the Reds in the NL. And realistically, we could have also added to this National League list the St. Louis Cardinals because they are only 6.5 games out. But the Cardinals have been playing terrible. Their their stadium was barely full last night as they were going up against the Giants. And, St. Louis for a long time has always been a team that has brought in a great fan base and had a great fan base presence at their stadiums. And it has just
Right.
looked abysmal this year. I mean,
Yeah.
abysmal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, but Bill, when we talk about these 6 teams, who, what teams on this list have the best chance to knock out a current wild card contender and make it to October?
I'm going to make the same prediction that I made last week. The Texas Rangers are gonna are gonna slide into the third spot. Seattle's gonna knock out the Astros, and the Astros are gonna miss the playoffs. And I'm not. That's that I have a lot of fans down or a lot of friends down in Houston. This is not something that I'm enjoying saying, but I do think that the Astros, just because they have had so many injuries, they're coming back. They're starting to get people back, but they have five more games with the Rangers and they have three with Seattle. So let's just assume for a second, maybe the Rangers take take one of the next two, right? And the and Seattle takes the next two. Well, now Seattle's going to pick up a game on them and only be 2.5 out, while the Rangers are going to be right there in the wild card contention. I think Houston is the most vulnerable there in the National League. As much as this pains me to say this, I think everything's going to stay the same. I think
Yeah.
unfortunately the only thing that's going to move around is whether or not the Mets are going to outdo the Padres for that second position. The Giants are 4 games out with 21 left to play. The Giants still have to play the Dodgers. The Dodgers are kind of fighting for their lives right now, so it's something that the Dodgers have to prove um, when they play. Uh, so
I mean,
I'm
the Giants and the Dodgers have 7 games against each other in the last month of the season.
7. I thought it was 3.
Nope. They got three. They play next Friday at home,
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday at home. And then have, and then they're on the road, three against the D backs, and then four against the Dodgers,
Wow.
the
Okay, so 7
Giants.
more against Dodgers. So with that being said, the Giants have a slight chance to sneak in, but you're gonna need either the Padres or the Mets to just fall apart.
I think when I look at this, I agree with you. I think the Rangers have a snowball's chance of making the American League wild card. The team that we don't have on here that we do need to also keep in mind is the Tampa Bay Rays in the American League, because the Tampa Bay Rays, they've got they are still in the hunt of this entire situation. But with the way the Padres have been playing and the a number of injuries the Padres have accumulated in the last 2.5 to 3 weeks,
Yep.
I think it does leave the door open for the Giants to make a move and to jump into this division. And the Dodgers are going to do what the Dodgers do. The Dodgers are when it comes to it, and you look at it year over year for the last 10 years, minus 2021, they are the gold standard of the National League West. They just are. Like, the Dodgers consistently win. They consistently the NL West winners. But the Giants have figured it out. And with the 7 games that they have going up against the Dodgers, and the way the Dodgers have recently been playing, again, knock on wood, the Giants are just the Giants have a chance to make some interesting moves here in this National League division to change the entire landscape of how it looks.
Yes.
So,
Yes. As much as that pains me to say, yes.
and again, don't count out the D-backs either, because while the D-backs are an extra 2.5 games out, I think the D-backs are 5.5 games out.
Hmm.
They have, they've got three against the D-backs. They got three against the Dodgers as well. They've got three against the Padres. They're playing a tough series right now with the Red Sox. They've also got a 3-game set against the Phillies. The D-backs could play spoiler too. What's Bill? How crazy would it be to say the Dodgers? Now, again, I don't see all of these moves happening. But who's to say that the Padres and the Mets don't get knocked out and the Diamondbacks and the Giants don't make it?
If that happens, there is plenty of awesome places to eat out here. I will buy you dinner.
Okay,
If
I'm good with that.
if both get knocked out and both teams, Both teams have to come in. In fact, I'll take you to a place called Freddy's. They got incredible Mexican food in Huntington Beach, right
Love
across the
it.
street from where you and I had dinner last time.
Oh, great. It was a great spot right on the PCH. It was beautiful. I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, yeah, no,
If you're in
absolutely.
Southern California, make sure you get down to the PCH. It is a beautiful singular road that drives all the way down the Pacific coast. And it is just an unbelievable sight to see. Do it around sunset, and you get the beautiful scenery, the beautiful view. Just watch out for traffic.
Yeah,
That's all
I
I
was
gotta
down
say.
there this week.
I don't doubt it. You live very close to it. So
Yep, yes, sir.
um, let's, as we wrap up the show, Bill, take me through your podcast schedule this week because you bring on a fan that has nothing to do with baseball.
Correct. Correct. So, American League with Ashley is Monday. And as everybody knows, we are now launching the NHL, NBA, and WNBA. So, Josh will be on the podcast on Tuesday. And he is a huge Ducks fan. I'm looking forward to having him on and seeing what the viewership thinks. Uh, Lena will be on Wednesday. She's a Guardians fan. Welcome to the clubhouse. Thomas will be on Friday. And Thursday, my guest is still in the process of confirming, so I didn't want to announce it and embarrass the individual if they could not make it because I've got somebody behind that too. So we'll leave Thursday
Sounds
as it is.
awesome. When we look at the in the league schedule, you have a Yankee fan joining you on Monday.
Mhm. Yeah, so Jonna is joining us, and she's not going to necessarily talk the Yankees. She's going to talk the entire playoff picture and what she
Okay.
thinks as an individual and what she feels could be moved around. Do the Remember the Yankees and Red Sox play each other six more times before the end of the season. The Red Sox also play Toronto. The Yankees are playing Toronto right now, so she's going to talk a little bit about that in both leagues, and it'll be a lot of fun to see. And then Thursday is still up for grabs, but we will have somebody there.
Love that. Love that. This week, Bill has put together a blaster box bonanza from the 2023 year. It's going to be how many blaster boxes you got for this one?
I think there's four. There's four of
Four
them.
completely different blaster boxes that are going to shock your mind. So make sure you are checking that out this Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The following week is going to be an incredible, incredible box break. Bill is partnering up with our great friends over at Heads Up Sports Cards, and we are doing a multi case break with Heads Up Sports Cards. It is going to be a 2020 Tops Updated Jumbo Box case break paired with a 2022 Chronicles Blaster Box case break. This is going to be epic. These are two fantastic boxes. I have cards from both of these boxes. What we find in these boxes is going to be amazing to see. Um, we are promoting this early because we want to give you the heads up that the cost for the heads up, no pun intended, the cost for these teams will be going up. You will be getting multiple cards for these teams in your breaks.
Yeah,
Because of
multiple.
that, the cases cost more money. Sorry, it's just the way it works. We're not buying one box, we're buying multiple boxes.
Sam's
So,
already committed to
Bill,
buy three teams, so heads up, everybody. Sam's
we
committed to
we
buy
will
three
see. I'm
teams.
committed to at least buying two, possibly three. We will see. I have to do
Yeah.
my research and ensure I'm buying the right team for my third.
Sam's
But
already
Bill,
committed to buy
when
three teams, and we're discounting Sam's teams down to $300 a team. So Sam's
uh
in full fledged in this.
yeah, I'm close. Yeah, apparently I'm close to spending $1,000. I might as well just buy the whole case. I might as well just buy both cases at that point.
There
Let's
you
just
go.
just
There you
call
go.
call it spade a spade. Bill,
Spade,
when
spade.
are you going? When will the case break posting be up on the Top Fan Rivalry website?
That will be going up next Friday. The 27-ounce club's members, and this is why it's so important to be a 27-ounce club member. You get access 24 hours early. They will get access at noon on Thursday for this. So noon on Thursday, we have our box break this week on Monday, but noon on Thursday, you can go in and grab your teams. And so
Bill,
that's
Bill, could
yeah,
we maybe get a could we maybe get a post on IG of the cost of the teams for the case break to give fans a kind of insight look at to what they might be spending
yep.
on the spots?
Yeah, so Mike and I are going to be working on that on Monday. So we will
Okay,
probably make that post Monday or Tuesday to give everybody a little
perfect.
heads up, right?
Yeah,
We don't want it to cannibalize the break that we're doing on Monday. So we want to make sure that we've sufficiently given Monday's break the opportunity, right?
absolutely. But we also want as I've done multiple case breaks, want to make sure that fans have plenty of time to get their teams and their finances in order to get into this case break because you are not going to want to miss this one.
Yeah,
As
no,
we
it's going to be
wrap up the
amazing.
show, we want to again thank our sponsors, the Sports Basement and the Patio Place, for supporting TFR and ATD and what we do every week, which is bringing you, the fans, the best baseball insights around the league. I can't thank you guys enough. It really means the world to me, and I know it means the world to Bill. Bill, as we close the show out, any final comments for the fans out there?
Go fight, win, my friends. I'm excited. I cannot wait till this case break. I cannot wait till next week. So have a good day, all, and we sure do appreciate you. Have a good one now.
Yes, we do. Thank you as always. Make sure you're checking out topfanrivalry.com for the new articles, podcasts, the merch. As Bill said, join the 27 Outs Club. Make sure you're a part of the T-shirt club. Join us for the digital dugout events every month that Bill puts on, and sign up for TFR Fan Fest. That post I'm sure will be coming within the next month or
Yes.
two to get your signups done for that and join us in Las Vegas to meet us in person and ask us what questions you have for us and possibly get an autograph. I'm Grand Slam Sam. That's Baseball Bill, and we'll see you on the field next week.